Welcome back to another episode of Cape Ann Today with our Gloucester Times reporters. Hi, Stephen. Hi, Ethan.
Hi, Heather.
Hey, Heather.
Nice to see you guys. Stephen, why don't you go first today? I think you have three stories on Manchester by the Sea.
Oh, I have at least three stories on Manchester by the Sea. One of the stories I ran this week was the coverage of the Manchester by the Sea election. Pretty predictable to a degree. The incumbents for the select board, there were two opening seats. Ann Harrison, John Round won the challenger. They topped Karen Bennett. She got a lot of votes, so she came close, but they still did win re-election for 3-year terms over on the planning board. This is kind of, to me, it's a personal, has personal interest. Susan Hanson Philbrick and Christopher Alney, incumbents, they won. Alney was the longtime serving member. Susan Hanson Philbrick is just completing her appointed term. She filled in for somebody that stepped down last fall. Susan Hanson Philbrick, I keep saying the last name over and over again because in my mind I'm thinking Philbrick. How do I know that name? And so one day it hit me, and I'm a big devotee of Nathaniel Philbrick, the author.
Oh, right.
Lives on Nantucket. So I was chatting with her after when I was doing the story of her original appointee to the position. I'm like, "Oh, you're not related to Nathaniel Philbrick, are you?" Thinking, "Ah ha ha, what a joke this is." He's like, "Yeah, he's my brother-in-law." So anyway,
Oh,
that
that's so
it's kind
interesting.
of kind
The
of a
Essex, well, the Welsh of Essex, right? That was one of his big books.
yes. I read Battle of Bunker Hill, Mayflower. I have one sitting on my desk at home. I haven't even opened yet, but it's about uh, the relationship between George Washington and who was the traitor,
Oh,
the general who
Aaron Burr. Uh,
it'll come to me later. But anyway, no, I digress.
yeah.
Also winning re-election was town moderator Alan Wilson. Housing authorities, Elizabeth Heisey won, David Lansden won for library trustee. And of the 4,351 registered voters in Manchester, 1,331 cast votes, 41%. Not too bad.
31. Oh, that's not bad. Yeah, that's good.
Also in Manchester by the Sea, happening today and tomorrow. It's a pretty cool story. The Navajo dancers from the Navajo Nation from Albuquerque, New Mexico, are in Manchester. They're here because they want to bless the house that Colonel Samuel Tappan lived in Manchester. He and General William Tecumseh Sherman signed a treaty for the Navajo Nation. So they're appearing today. This morning they have a religious ceremony. It's not open to the public, but this afternoon they have a presentation. It's going to be hard to get tickets. It's hard to get in because it's closing down. But also, I think that is the evening programs at Crowell Chapel at Rosedale in Manchester by the
Wait,
Sea.
wait, let's linger on that story just a bit because it's so fascinating. Can you tell the story that you wrote about in which the descendant of Colonel Tappan found the treaty? They thought this
Right,
treaty.
there were three copies of the treaty. One was, I think, you put me on the spot again, but I think the one was in the house,
Yeah.
and it and now I believe that copy of the treaty is in a museum in New Mexico, I think.
Yeah, she returned it to the Navajo Nation, right?
I believe that's correct, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
But there were going to be 4 or 5 members. One of the members unfortunately couldn't come, but there are at least 3. They will be blessing the house this morning, like I said, and they will be performing and dancing during an evening presentation.
It's really
Uh,
exciting, and it's kind of watching history connect. I mean,
yeah,
across the years, right here in our neighborhoods. It's an amazing story. Yeah.
Last story, actually last story really that I did this week, cell signaling technology coming. It's a Danvers-based biotech firm in Danvers, and they're developing a site in Manchester by the Sea. It's off the Old Rock Quarry, off Atwater Avenue. It's over by the Manchester Athletic Club. And the goal is they break ground in July of next year. The first phase, they're having in about 223 employees. The second phase in the future, it remains to be seen when they're going to add another 237 employees. So it seems to be a win-win for Manchester.
So, Stephen, from what I understood from your story, they were approaching the Board of Selectmen, maybe, or the Planning Board of Selectmen, probably, about a parking structure, right?
Right. They are planning. I mean, they presented different possibilities, but what they want to do is build a multi-tiered parking level. I think two, could be three. If you talk to anybody, apparently that it's a really good plan for the site. The site is it's a little downtrodden as far as Manchester by the Sea real estate goes. So it's right off 128 and the Pine Street or School Street, I forget which one. It's
And it's that zone, the limited commercial district.
yes, it is correct.
Right.
That
But
is-
so did they approach the Board of Selectmen, am I getting that right? Because they wanted to
It
know
was the planning board.
Planning Board, okay, that they would have the authority to build this structure that before they just wanted to get ahead of the issue. Is that right?
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. Yeah, they're really trying to work with the planning board. The planning board is trying to work with them because it means a lot of revenue for that. I don't know. They didn't talk at the meeting about the number of specific dollars that I mean, but you can imagine close to 500 people working. Revenue that's going to add to the Manchester coffers. Will be good.
Excuse me, but from what I understood, the multi-level parking was a good response to, lots of just flat parking, which would take up so much.
Yeah, and they're willing to build it. I mean, they compared the relative price of surface parking versus the multi-tiered parking, and it's substantially higher to build that, but they've got the pockets, they've got the dough, they want to build it.
And it's
they have two other sites, two other campuses. One's in Danvers, the other's in Beverly. One is primarily research and development and office space. That's the one in Danvers, and then the one over in Beverly is, from what I gather, is primary a production site.
mm-hmm. It's just so much less impervious surface for
for the parking. Yes.
Yeah, so sure. That would be actually a good thing. All right. Well, thank you. Great job. Ethan, what do you need to tell the story of Angela Sanfilippo going to the Rose Garden?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty incredible. She called me up last week. She says, Ethan, I'm going to the White House. And I'm going to go because I helped save Bristol Bay, which is the world's largest sockeye salmon fishery on the planet. And I'm like, what does the Gloucester Fishermen's Wives Association, the Massachusetts Fishermen's Partnership, what does Angela Sanfilippo have to do with Bristol Bay, Alaska? And it turns out a lot, because back in 2011, a fisher named Catherine Karskalen, wanted to form an organization to fight the Pebble Mine. And I think if you've heard about it, it'd be a large mine on Bristol Bay, off Bristol Bay, and it's an open pit mine for gold and copper. And they would take it's a very spread out mine, so it's like a lot of land. They have a lot of waste. They put this waste behind a dam, a perpetual dam, forever. Millions of tons of this stuff. And if you can imagine ecological disaster if the dam ever failed. It's Alaska. The weather isn't, it's not dry. It's not like Arizona. If you've seen what they do in Arizona, they strip mine. So she worked with Catherine and introduced them to Massachusetts senators, introduced her to congressmen, brought her to the Fishermen's Partnership. They were trying to build a coalition, not just in Alaska, but across the country. And Angela gave her the guidance. They stayed in touch over the years, off and on. And then about a month ago, the EPA decided the Clean Waters Act would, prevent that from happening. It's been in the news. I think there's been a lot on it.
Yeah.
So that's the connection. Two fishing communities on literally on opposite ends of the nation. You can't I don't think you can get any farther away. Bristol Bay and Gloucester.
And Angela has a history of going to Washington, D.C., right?
She's been to the White House before. My understanding. But I think this was really special. And she's done a lot. I mean, I don't underestimate this person. She has done amazing stuff. She was telling me her husband actually mapped the coordinates of the Stellwagen Bank Marine Sanctuary. Isn't that incredible? Because he was a fisherman and she needed someone to figure out where the lines would be drawn.
Well, I think
she told me that. I was like, it's incredible. You just take it for granted these things exist. But it was her advocacy, the Fishermen's Wives, the fishing, that sort of brought all this stuff forward. Preserving George's Bank from oil drilling. And the things that she's done. Now she's an advocate against wind. Yeah.
Let's just add to that. I think she was a young 20-year-old wife when she went to Washington and advocated for the 200-mile fishing limit.
Yeah, she was saying she heard on the news, and she was talking about the foreign fishing trawlers that would just come in and there was no seagulls landing on these fishing trawlers, it was like, they were, so yeah, that was another thing that she had done. It's just amazing, but it's also sad too, because, she was saying to me, she had a bit of, not regret, but some, a twinge when they were talking about saving Pebble Mine. She was like, why can't we get the ear of the president like these folks in Alaska? She wanted, because they're really concerned about offshore wind and the impact on the spawning grounds. And I think that's her big push now. And we'll see. But, hats off to her. I spoke to the former mayor, Fathia Mayo-Thekin, about this, because she's a longtime vice president and a mentor, and Angel's a mentor to Fathia. And, hats off to her, she was saying to me. And it's just a wonderful thing for Gloucester to be recognized like this. And
So did Angela meet Biden?
No, she explained to me, she's a little trouble with her mobility, so she was in a wheelchair, but she was like in the front. So she was showing me pictures of Biden. She had a great picture of Biden. Then she's like, a reporter sat in front of her. She was not very happy. But she was very impressed with how Biden knew what was going on. And so her desire was that Biden knows what's going on off the waters of Massachusetts to help, protect the fishing industry, the commercial fishing industry here. It's fragile.
Yeah, well, let's hope that something worked there. There were connections made. That'd be great.
I think she's got something up her sleeve, so I guess stay tuned.
Yeah. All right. So tell us about how to get a parking sticker in Gloucester these days.
Well, if you're a resident, go to on Monday, they're opening up the Sawyer Free Library's children's room, and you can go there. I think if you're a resident of Gloucester, the biggest and best bargain on the planet is a parking sticker. A Gloucester park is $20. So I think the senior one's like lasts for 3 years or something like that, and it's like, I don't know, $5 or something like that. And if you're a renter too, and you're here for 60 days, it's $100 sticker. But this year, that's the resident. So the resident side is on Monday after the fire, we all know about the fire at City Hall. They had, they sort of stopped in-person sales. They're restarting. I don't know, people like to go to City Hall and buy their parking sticker, but you're gonna have to fill out all the information online, no paper, and then they'll approve you and give you get your sticker. You can also go online on the city's website and get your sticker that way, and it's probably easier. They'll mail it to you. And this year, so residents know that they used to get their license plate number written on their sticker. And that's not going to happen this year because they're going to a new system of using plate readers to check your plate. So they'll know once they have your plate in the system, they'll know you're a resident and you're okay. But the big deal now for people who do live outside of Gloucester, Cape Ann, well, Rockport, right? Heather, you got to move your house just a little bit over the lines. You get that $20 parking sticker.
Yeah, you know what? I have a little bit of my house is in Gloucester.
Do you pay taxes?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, there you go. You're a resident.
I'm a resident. It's
Put a little shed on that little strip of land.
Yep, exactly.
But if you're non-resident, so you be non-resident stickers, they're going to use a different app this year. They started last year. They used an app. They said, we're not going to sell stickers anymore. Okay. They used to sell stickers to non-residents, and then everyone had a sticker. And then everyone raced up to Gloucester to try to get in. Traffic, terrible traffic. People would come in, try to get, pay cash at the gate, and it just gridlocked the city. So last year they went to an online beach reservation system. If you get a reservation, you can make one up to 10 days in advance. You get in, and they're using a new system called Blinkay. Last year was Yodel. This year, Blinkay. Anyway, the system goes live on Thursday, May 18th. So if you live out of town and you want to get a beach sticker, got to go on this. Got to go and get this. Now this year they're using a mobile app, not just a web-based portal. This year is a mobile app you download it on your phone, and you can make, once you input your credit card number and your license plate, and then it's just basically a simple tap, for future reservations. So it's ease of use. The back end, they have the back end of the system. Last year they didn't have the ability to judge capacity. This year they'll get real-time information as people go in and out. They're using plate readers, so they know they have an idea of the capacity. I don't know the science of how they figure out but they figure out like residents can show up. They don't want to turn residents away, so they do reserve probably some spaces for residents. They sell probably a limited amount of out-of-town stickers for the beaches, Good Harbor, Stage 4 Park, and Winger Chic.
Okay.
So yeah, I just want to anyone's watching this. I don't know if you're out of town. One of the best deals you can do is if you want to you want to go to Good Harbor, go park at Stage 4 Park. It's cheaper. Then you can take the CATA bus. They run a CATA bus around, and it makes all the stops. I save a few bucks.
Yeah,
that's my big thing. It's like.
Good tip. But Ethan, will you just review how residents get their stickers? Because I was a little confused. You can go to the Sawyer Free Library, or you can do it online.
Do it online.
Okay, so that you don't have to go to the Sawyer Free Library.
No, but I think what happened is when they closed City Hall, people were coming to the door. I want my sticker.
Ah, okay, all right.
So they said, well, we better set something up. They can't do it in the Kairos.
Right.
In a fire, it's kind of, they have to remediate the fire damage. So you don't have to do it in person.
Okay, great.
Go
Do it all online.
Go online. Go to the city's website. The other wrinkle is if you want to do it in person, you got to bring a check.
You can't
Only accepting check.
Not a credit card. Okay, great.
No, because they just can't do it.
They can't.
I think they set this up on the fly, and they're going to make you fill out everything on a laptop anyway.
Right.
So I guess for some people, they feel like it's more convenient just to get it in person. But go online, go to the city's website, and you'll be able to do in a Blinkay. You'll be able to get your resident parking sticker.
But the Blinkay is for the non-residents. Let's just
Blinkay is for the non-residents.
Yeah, right. Okay.
I was just being cute.
It was clever. It was clever, but
now everyone's confused.
That's
so remember,
it.
residents, residents can buy a sticker. Non-residents have to make reservations.
Okay, great. But they cost something.
Oh yeah, they cost. It's like $25 for Stage 4 on weekends and holidays. $35 at Winger Chic. So
Mhm.
that's Wingersheek and Good Harbor beaches. That's why I say, well, save maybe $5. Take the park at Stage Fort. They usually have capacity at Stage Fort Park.
Mhm.
That's
Okay,
the big secret. They don't Stage Fort doesn't usually sell out.
right.
So you go to Stage Fort and then you can pick up the CATA bus and it shuttles around. And if you're out of town, I think that's your life hack.
And you have a nice drive too. It's a it's a
It's
beautiful drive.
beautiful right down Stacy Boulevard. It's beautiful. I mean, Gloucester's so beautiful.
It is so pretty. Okay, so tell us about Student Awareness Day.
Well, yeah, on Wednesday, they had it's senior proms around the corner, so they wanted to make kids aware of the dangers of impaired, like not only drunken driving, impaired driving. Either texting on your phone, you're impaired, or drinking, obviously use marijuana use, whatever. So they wanted to make people aware of the seniors aware. It was apparently it was MCAS day, but they put the seniors in an assembly, and the new Essex DA Paul Tucker was there. The school resource officer Mike Scola was also there, and Superintendent Ben Lummis. They addressed the students in the morning. They had an assembly, and then the kids went out in groups and did these activities. Now I don't know if you can see see that there. You drive one of these things and you wear goggles,
Oh, I did see that picture.
and
That-
the goggles simulate being twice the limit.
oh,
So
wow.
the kids had to go around an obstacle course, and they had trouble doing it.
That's a good
And
lesson.
it is a good lesson. Yeah. They also had this car, and it would spin on its rotate like this, and they would put a dummy in it unbelted, and the dummy would fly all over the car. Yeah. So they're trying to just bring home some lessons to the kids, make them think. And the kids I think were pretty receptive to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
They were good kids. Like, oh, I don't want to ever do that. So like, please, anyone listening to me, if you're a kid, stay safe this season, prom season, graduation,
Mhm.
stay safe. Don't drink, don't drive. If you see one of your friends drinking or driving, don't get in a car with them, urge them not to drive,
Mhm.
yeah.
Oh, do you think that they really find a way to boost up the Uber and Lyft resources on prom nights and things like that?
No, I haven't heard anything like that,
I wonder if
I
they do.
don't know what they're doing. Some communities used to do like a safe prom night, or safe graduation night, where they would go after graduation and they would go to a
One
Boston
place,
Harbor cruise. Danvers used to do like a Boston Harbor cruise and stuff like that, try to keep them safe.
right?
Um, I haven't heard anything like that. I got prom's coming up soon, I think is the message, and graduation is right around the corner.
Right. I know. I know. Well, thank you. It's so nice that spring is here and people are doing these things. But again, it's also really important that kids stay safe in these traditional celebrations. So thank you guys for telling us all these interesting stories of the week.
Heather, may I take 30 seconds and add something that
Yeah,
will be appearing
please.
in tomorrow's paper? Coverage of this week's school committee meeting in Manchester, the Manchester Essex Regional School District. Superintendent Pam Bedoin presented her revised budget as a response to the override defeat in Essex a couple of weeks ago. This budget mentions the possibility of reduction in teachers and reduction in some programs, including I think the foreign language program. So not to scare people, but they're doing what they can with that. And also in your woods, neck of the woods, there was a survey that went out to Rockport residents asking them how they thought the town government should improve. And anyway, the results of the survey are in now, and they're using the information in the survey to be instrumental in designing their new and improved website. And that is to be rolled out
Okay.
potentially at sometime in the fall.
Where were we supposed to see that survey, Stephen?
I gather, I was told this was mailed to property owners. Did you never see it?
I never saw that. I will follow up with you, and maybe I just missed it in the mail, but I will follow up on that. Okay.
All of
So
a sudden, I feel like the bad student who's being admonished by the tough teacher.
no. And
So
Stephen,
where should I see those, Stephen?
but Stephen, also, is this survey separate from the ARPA survey where we were supposed to be asked how we thought the ARPA funds should be spent?
I never saw the survey. I just talked to this selectman and the town administrator, Mr. Vieira.
Okay, so this was a survey asking Rockport residents how they thought the website should be upgraded. Is that what you just said?
Correct.
Okay, great,
Correct.
great. All right, well, thank you. Those are two really important updates. That Manchester Essex Regional School District that's committee meeting is a big one.
And Heather,
Yeah.
your graduation, my kid is graduating from college, Marist College.
Congratulations, Aveen, right?
Aveen, yeah.
Oh, she
is at Marist, yeah, on Saturday.
Oh, where is she graduating from?
Marist College in Poughkeepsie, New York.
Beautiful. Oh, congratulations, Aveen.
Thank you very
Really
much,
proud of
Heather.
you. Yeah, great. All right, you guys, this is so exciting, but I'll see you next week.
Thank you, Heather.
All right, bye. Interested in a sponsorship? Email sponsor@1623studios.org to learn more.